Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. So today there's a video in the series of soul growth, but this is about soulmates. I'm receiving a lot of questions, and a lot of people are talking about Ankita and Sushant, and they think that they are soulmates. They should get together. They should get together in next birth or something. So I wanted to kind of help you understand this concept of soulmate, and that will help you understand this whole scenario between them also, and kind of help you sort your life in a big way, because of this misconception about soulmates, a lot of people are ruining their relationships. So I'm going to explain that. Before I explain that, Sushant, because a lot of you are asking me about that video of Sushant's last rites that are there. People are putting garlands on him and his face is shown and everything, and a lot of people are asking me, ask Sushant, what is it, why is it? Sushant has already answered that in my last video, in my previous video. Suddenly when he asked me to make a video, was that something is coming out. It is coming from the mind of Queen of Wands, and it is going to basically put us into an emotional situation. And if you remember, he said something related to angels, or something related to emotions. So definitely this is related to angels, because this is about last rites. And I tried connecting with him, and he's saying that don't get diverted with this, don't focus on it much. This is going to be a stepping stone in actually identifying or getting towards justice. So no matter what intention Queen of Wands had when she actually released this video or got this video released, but this is going to be a stepping stone towards justice, and it is going to help to get justice. And maybe somewhere somebody will find out that it was not Sushant, or the video is a hoax and it's not really a true video, because if you see, you can't see anybody's face, like it's only bodies, and the bodies that you see, or the lower bodies specifically, you see feet and like the lower bodies, and if you see them, they don't look like people from Bollywood, or they're not dressed up like that, like, you know, even if you are going for a funeral, like the kind of footwear that you'll wear, or the kind of walk you'll have, or the kind of body language that you have, or from his family members also, like, you know, usually those are the people who are around, but it doesn't show like them. So there is something about it. They will you will get to know in divine time, but just don't put your energies into it. Just don't think much about it. And also please keep practicing safety circle. It's very important for all of us who are fighting for Sushant, because dark energies are into into atmosphere, and it's trying to impact. So soulmates. So basically, who are soulmates? So first thing is, soulmate is basically any soul who's your mate. And for mate, it not necessarily because there's a word mate, it means that it is your husband or wife or boyfriend or girlfriend. Soulmate can be any soul in your life, can be your brother, sister, child, parent, friend, boss. It can be anybody in your life. So soulmate is any soul who's connected to you, who's close to you, and who's helping you learn or move ahead in life in a certain way. That is basically a soulmate. Now, there are two types of soulmates. There are good soulmates and there are bad soulmates. Good soulmate means somebody who's very nurturing, who's very good, whose energy is completely matched with yours, who gives you comfort, who gives you good connection, and is helping you grow. Now this is a good soulmate that you have. The role can be anybody, the relationship can be anybody, but this is a good soulmate that you have. Now you have a good soulmate because you are on your life lesson, you are on life path, you're moving in the right direction, and that's why you planted a good soulmate when you are moving towards the right direction, and that good soulmate is there in your life. Bad soulmate is somebody who's actually making things tough for you, who's actually getting you into troubles, into problems, who's actually pushing you for doing something, for taking an action. It could be a boss who's very bad. It could be a mother, a parent, or a husband or a wife who's very bad, who's actually pushing you to take a decision, to take a leap of faith, to move ahead in life, to understand your power, understand your authority. So it's a bad soulmate. Now why have you planted a bad soulmate? You've planted a bad soulmate because you're not on your path. You need to be pushed on your path. You're diverted from your path, your soul lesson, and that's why you planted a bad soulmate. And the soulmate is actually pushing you towards learning, finding the positive out of it, and moving ahead of your life. That's a bad soulmate. Now not necessarily your soulmate is your husband or wife, or your boyfriend or girlfriend, and a lot of us are spoiling our relationships, because they think, because they are into this concept of soulmates and twin flames, and then they think that our soulmate needs to understand what's going on in my heart. Why do I have to speak? Why do I have to say things? Why doesn't he or she understands what I mean, or what I want to say, or what I want to express? That's because you're human, you've been given a voice, and you need to express. There is no telepathy, okay? And your husband and wife or your partners don't need to have telepathy. You need to express yourself. When you express yourself, if the person still doesn't do it, maybe a bad soulmate, trying to push you to understand yourself, trying to push you to do things by yourself, trying to push you to learn detachments. Or if he does the things when you express, good soulmate. But you have to learn that there is nothing like the person should understand what I'm thinking in my heart and do things accordingly. There's nothing like that. And don't spoil your relationship for that. Don't spoil your relationship because your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your husband or your wife don't understand what you're thinking. They're not meant to. And at times the coincidence happens, and a lot of people understand it because your thinking is very loud, or because a lot of people are thinking the same thing at the same time is why they understand. So it might happen as a coincidence at times, but not necessarily you have to expect this. You've been given a voice, you've given a throat, means you have to speak, you have to express yourself. So start expressing yourself and stop expecting this and spoiling your relationship, basically thinking that I'm not with my soulmate, and that's why he or she doesn't even understand what I want to say. Okay. Second, how do you identify your soulmate? So any person who you feel who has a very strong presence in your life. Now this presence can be anybody, but it's a very strong presence. It is not going away. It's a very strong positive presence, or it's a very strong negative presence, but it is impacting your life. Now what happens is that as a soul, we have like a soul family. So some souls live in similar groups and they take rebirth with similar people in similar situations, and that's why they kind of form a family together, and these people are soulmates. So that not necessarily you have one soulmate or you have two soulmates. You can have many soulmates. Anybody, a soul who's helping you learn your life, move ahead in life, has a strong presence, is your soulmate. And that's why they take birth around you to help you learn or unlearn certain things or move ahead in your life. So not necessarily you just have one soulmate and that's your husband and wife. And that's how so many souls come into your life, and you feel connected to multiple souls at times. Now this strong presence is not going to go until you learn your lesson, whether it is a boss, whether it is a parent, whether it is a husband, wife, whether it is a friend. The presence is going to be there because that presence is basically pushing you towards learning your lesson. So say you have a boss who's very bad, very pushy. He's basically asking you to look for something else, search for something else, figure out good things about this person and move ahead. If you have a partner who's very bad, who's treating you badly, who's not or a parent who's not how you would think, or you don't get love or attachment from that person, maybe your lesson is to learn detachment. Maybe your lesson is to go on your journey, find out yourself, figure out yourself, rather than expecting love and attachments from different people. And that's what your soulmate is helping you learn or unlearn. And that's why any strong presence in your life is your soulmate. Now at times what happens is that we are into a relationship. It's a very beautiful relationship, like a boyfriend or girlfriend. We don't get married, we move ahead because of different reasons, parents or whatever. We get married to somebody else and we keep thinking that, oh, that person was my soulmate. He could understand everything that I wanted to say or I didn't say. He understood my heart. Maybe he was your soulmate, but the person that you are with, you've planted that person in your life at this point in time because he is also your soulmate, and soulmates are many. And that's why you don't have to put yourself or be hooked into the same person of your past, but you can actually connect with this new person by saying things or expressing things. And if the person is not connecting with you, bad, problematic, maybe he wants you to learn that you are independent, you can take a step, you can move ahead in your life. That's what the soulmate is. And that's why when we talk about Ankita and Sushant, Ankita had a strong role or a strong presence in Sushant's life before like he died before he was murdered, and right now also she's actually marking a strong presence in the case that he's undergoing, or the murder thing that is undergoing. And that is why, yes, probably she was one of his soulmates. Not necessarily that he has to take a rebirth from her, or he has to do something to come back and marry her or be with her. No, because like I said, soulmate doesn't mean life partner only. So she was a soulmate, she has her presence very strong, she's marking her presence even right now. And I don't know why Queen of Swords fell. It was very surprising for me also, but somehow she's marking her presence right now also in his, after his death also, the way he's fighting for his justice and everything, the way Sushant is fighting for his soul is fighting for his justice and everything. She still has a strong presence. So maybe she's a soulmate to him, but that doesn't mean that he has to marry him, or he has to marry her, or that doesn't mean that he has to take birth from her womb. So I hope that helps you understand, and I hope that helps you understand your life partners a little better, and stop expecting them to understand your whatever is in your heart and heart desire. And probably that will help you get some life lesson, or get some love build up in your relationship, or understanding build up in your relationship. So that's all for today. I will see you with my next video on soul lesson, where we are going to talk about how a soul is preparing for the journey for the next birth. Till then, take care of yourself. Bye bye. All the best.